Hello friends, this is astrologer SAROJ and you are watching my channel. Do subscribe the channel in order to receive the notifications for the upcoming videos and share the podcast on Vedic astrology as much as possible. And this is the Ketu series we are continuing with, and this is the Capricorn ascendant chart. So results of Ketu in the first house or in the lagna. Before proceeding, let us can discuss about the nature of Ketu and Rahu in Vedic astrology. Ketu and Rahu are malefic planets in astrology. They are shadow planets because, as you know, and given the role they play in Vedic astrology, they have been considered planets majorly in Vedic astrology, and their role can't be ignored at all. And few astrologers have said that without Rahu and Ketu, Vedic astrology is useless. And in few contexts, that's also a correct thing. Because given the role Rahu and Ketu play in astrology. Now the point is that we should have a general overview about Ketu. Ketu is a malefic planet, and we can't expect a benefic result from malefic planet. A malefic planet always gives malefic results. We can't expect benefic results from a malefic planet, not at all. So most natives think that Ketu is placed in the lagna, it will give benefic results. No. Since the planet is malefic, it can't give benefic results at all. So this is the first thing. And another interesting point with respect to Ketu is that it takes the characteristics of that house in which it's placed. If it's placed in the 6th, 8th or 12th house, it will take the characteristics of those houses. And if it's placed in the Kendra houses, it will take the character of that houses as well. So these are the main points to be taken into consideration with respect to Ketu. And Ketu does not own any sign. It does not have the lordship of any sign, isn't it? It does not rule any sign among the 12 signs, zodiac signs that we have. So the lordship of Ketu is defined by the sign in which it's placed, isn't it? In a few signs, its placement and its lordship is defined according to the signs in which it's placed. The impact of Ketu will be malefic for all the ascendants. It will never give positive results, and I recommend all such natives who are wearing cat's eye do remove cat's eye if you are wearing it, because it will increase the malefic influence of Ketu and it will create problems in your life. Most of the natives have been facing problems in their life after wearing cat's eye, but they don't know that they are facing problems due to cat's eye. This is an irony. But I request and I recommend all those natives who are wearing cat's eye, please remove it. It will be beneficial for you. There are specific remedies in order to decrease and lessen the impact of Ketu in your chart. The remedies are specific depending on the nature of the chart. The amount and the extent of problem that Ketu does in a chart depends on the nature of the chart. It depends on the relative strength of other planets in the chart as well. It's not that Ketu is placed in first house, it will destroy the person. It's wrong to conclude. We can't say conclusively like that. But the fact is that we have to see the strength of the ascendant lord itself first, because the more powerful ascendant lord is, the more a person will be able to defend the challenge of his life. Now the Ketu impact is of two types. We have two versions of Ketu's impact in life. One is long lived, another is short lived. The long lived is quite challenging. What do we mean by long lived impact of Ketu? It's an impact which does not depend on the time period of Ketu in operation, in question. It does not depend on the operation of Ketu's time. What does this mean? It means that irrespective of antardasha or mahadasha of Ketu, the impact of Ketu persists in the life of a person. And that is a quite challenging situation for a native. Like Capricorn ascendant. If it is a long-lived impact of Ketu in a Capricorn ascendant chart, it will have mental retardation problems. The person will be mentally retarded. The person will have stomach acidity, stomach disorders. He'll have boils. He'll have fevers. He'll have mental retardation. He'll have urine infection. He'll have pain in spine as well, isn't it? If she's female, the issues will be in the uterus as well. There are multiple impact of Ketu so far as medical terms are concerned, because it creates deadly problems in most of the charts. Ketu's impact is malefic, it's never benefic. And so far as the setbacks in marital life are concerned, setbacks are faced by the native. So far as long lived impact of Ketu is concerned, it leads to setbacks in marital life, setbacks in business partnership and all that, and setbacks with respect to general fortune as well. So these are the main impacts of Ketu placed in lagna, and this is the long lived impact of Ketu. So far as the short lived impact of Ketu is concerned, it's what is short lived impact? What do we mean by that? Short lived impact means that the impact of Ketu is felt only during its time period in operation. In other words, we can say that the impact of Ketu is felt only during its antardasha or mahadasha. Once the antardasha is over, once the sub period is over, the impact of Ketu in the life of the native is over. But in the transit, it does create a problem to all the ascendants, and that also depends, if depending on the nature of birth Ketu, what we call natal Ketu. Another is transit Ketu, that's another thing. And equally, it creates problems, and it depends in which sign it's placed and what is the strength of Ketu. If any malefic planet aspects Ketu, its impact gets more malefic, isn't it, in such case? So we have to regulate the impact of Ketu in such cases. So these are the multiple factors that need to be taken into consideration. So in order to gauge the strength of Ketu, and in order to analyze the impact of Ketu in a chart where Ketu is placed in the lagna. Most importantly, we have to see the strength of ascendant lord in such cases. I have mentioned long-lived impact, I have mentioned short-lived impact. So far as the another side of the story is concerned, that is the transit. We have to see the transit placement, the placement of Ketu in the transit. If the affliction is from transit to birth chart, and from birth chart to transit chart, and from transit to transit, isn't it, what we call triple transit? It's a triggering influence. Triple transit triggering influence is quite challengeable for a person. It's not equally for every person. It depends on the strength of ascendant lord, sorry. It depends on the strength of other planets in the chart as well. Malefic planets need to be strong. That's the beauty of Vedic astrology. We have misunderstanding about the malefics as well. Malefic planets also do have a role to play in astrology. Malefic planets should be also strong, but the problem takes place when the malefic planets create close aspects with planets. They create close conjunctions, and it has to be looked whether the conjunction is defined or not. In most of the cases, conjunction is not defined and the person is quite calm. He will not face any problem at all with respect to the planet in question. So these are multiple factors that need to be taken into consideration while considering the impact of Ketu and placed in lagna. And so far as mahadasha is concerned, it's said that Ketu raises a person to the heights, to the skies. It's true only in extremely exceptional cases, and in general we can't say things like that, because a malefic planet, we can't expect a boom for the native in case of malefic planet, isn't it? So in extremely exceptional cases that's possible, but in general we avoid such claims. So far as the research is concerned and other factors are concerned, we avoid such things. Only in extremely exceptional cases Ketu raises a native to the heights, and that also depends on the strength of other planets in the chart as well. And every ascendant, Capricorn ascendant, is different. Every Capricorn ascendant has different relative strength of planets. The longitudinal differences, the planetary strengths, the placement of planets across the horoscope, they are quite different. And the nature of Ketu in every Capricorn ascendant, in every ascendant rather, that's different. So these are the different factors that an astrologer has to take into consideration while assessing the impact of Ketu placed in the lagna, or impact of Ketu placed in any other house. So far as this podcast is concerned, it's about the placement of Ketu in the first house. So once again, do subscribe the channel and hit the bell icon in order to receive the notifications for the upcoming videos. And this is all about this podcast. Thank you.